For analysis on the South China Sea, we're joined now by Jia Sudong at the China Institute of International Studies. Professor Jia, what message do you think that Beijing is trying to send by putting its patrol vessels into the South China Sea for 3 days now? It's patrolling the area, and can we make any linkage to the political talks between Manila and Tokyo at this time?
Well, I don't think so, but these ships are sent to the South China Sea for just a regular patrol. So these are just regular operations as required by Chinese law and regulations. So I think that they are there to protect China's legitimate marine environment and rights, maritime rights. And we know that in the past few years, some countries, especially Vietnam and the Philippines, are nibbling at China's sovereignty and maritime rights in the South China Sea. And also, there are some activities that endanger the marine environment there. And so these ships are just there to enforce China's law and regulations concerning the South China Sea, and certainly they are also to defend China's sovereignty and maritime rights. To check whether there are more encroaching activities there in South Sea, so that they can take action against these violations of China's sovereignty and maritime rights in South China Sea.
Let's shift our focus over to Tokyo for a moment, because that's where the Philippine and Japanese foreign ministers are meeting right now. No surprise if the South China Sea figures high on their agenda. Both countries have territorial disputes with Beijing. But what do you think the Philippines is ultimately trying to achieve in these 3 days? What kind of position are they trying to establish, or are they merely looking for regional support?
Well, certainly the Philippines would like to seek international support for its position concerning the South China Sea, so that it may feel that it will become more confident in standing against China in any dispute in the South China Sea. But even though the media attention is on any discussion about the South China Sea issue, I don't believe this topic will figure very prominently during the talks. Of course, they will may cover this topic in discussions, but in a broader framework of discussion of maritime security, because there are many more things to be discussed between the two sides. For example, economic cooperation and Japan's assistance with the Philippines in its dealing with the Mindanao issue, because Japan has played a very active role in trying to help the Filipino government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front in Mindanao Island. So they have more to discuss, but I don't think that Japan will take an open side with the Philippines on the South China Sea issue, because that's detrimental to both Japan's relationship with China, also the solution to the South China Sea issue.